sfiorandomi, riemergerai dal buio. Riposa un po', mia cara Belle, il tuo regno sai, non brilla più.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 30 and 30. This is the third edition of this new series here on the national sports radio station in affiliation with Spreaker.com. My name is Stephen Hughes. I'm the host of the 30 and 30 show, and today coming onto the plate is the Los Angeles Dodgers. The first two teams that came onto the plate were the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. Today I'm taking on the Dodgers, and pretty much what I've been trying to do, my goal is to cover all the teams division-wise. So right now, this is my third team out of the NL West. So I'll be finishing up the NL West this weekend, and then I'll be heading on to the National League Central and NL East, and then I'll go and transition to the American League West, Central, and East, and then I'll try to lead this show up to opening day coming on April 1st. So right now, the Dodgers stepping up to the plate as I'll be talking to you about their recap. I'll recap you on the 2012 season. I'll talk to you guys about their stacked, in quotation marks, 40-man roster now, how their players did with the Los Angeles Dodgers last season, the key impact players for the Dodgers this season. Then I'll be going over to 2013 season, where I'll be talking about their schedule, especially in the months of April and May, the crucial months to begin the year. And then at the end of the show, I'll give you my prediction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and also I'll talk to you guys about the prospects in the farm system for the Dodgers down in Southern California. So let's get it started, folks. Let's talk about the 2012 year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers had a big season in 2012. Ownership transition as Magic Johnson, the former Laker great, bought the team as the leader of a financial group, buying the Dodgers for over $1 billion. Obviously, a big move for the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially aggressive on the transaction side, as Magic Johnson at the trade deadline got some key players, getting Miami Marlins infielder Hanley Ramirez from Miami, and then also with the blockbuster trade right before the trade deadline, getting Adrian Gonzalez, Nick Punto, Josh Beckett, and Carl Crawford from Boston for James Looney and 4 other minor league prospects, some good prospects that the Dodgers sent to the East Coast over in Fenway. So that was the biggest trade of the trade deadline in most MLB analysts in most MLB analyst minds. But it really turned out to not be enough, where the Giants of San Francisco did in fact clinch the NL West, and you guys know the rest of the way. The Giants beat Cincinnati in 5 games. They beat St. Louis in 7 games, and then they go on to sweep the Detroit Tigers in the World Series, winning their second in 3 years. So the Dodgers, considered a disappointment after the trade deadline, expecting a lot out of them. Maybe the chemistry wasn't good enough at the end of the year to get something really started over there at Chavez Ravine. Obviously, the Giants had their ways, having Buster Posey, the National League most valuable player, at the top of his game. But the Dodgers' batting really didn't come into play a lot. Like I said, from the trade, they did not get Carl Crawford. He was injured. He was injured for mostly the entire year, and he'll be coming back in 2013. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. That's kind of weird to hear in your minds, because you think Tommy John surgery for a pitcher, but Tommy John surgery for outfielder is a first, and whenever I hear that again, it won't be weird. But obviously, the Dodgers. Let's talk about their hitters and what happened last year with their big guys up at the plate. Obviously, Matt Kemp, one of the best outfielders in Major League Baseball, batted .303 last year, 23 home runs, 69 RBIs. He did miss a lot of time, so exclude the injuries and put in. Add him all the games that he missed, and he's having 40 home runs and over 120 RBIs. This was going to be his year, in my opinion, because at the beginning of the year he was scary. He was scary good. It wasn't even fun watching him. And covering the Giants and the A's, I'm looking down in Los Angeles, and I'm just thinking, this guy's going to win MVP unless he gets injured. And, of course, he has to get injured, costing the Dodgers big playing time and then leaving all the work to Andre Ethier, giving him pretty much the torch and leading this team that is without their superstar, pretty much one of their franchise players, including Clayton Kershaw, which I'll mention about his stats in just a minute. But just having Andre Ethier being the leader in the outfield wasn't the best thing for the Dodgers, in my opinion. But, everything goes not the Dodgers' way in the last 2 seasons. So let's continue on down the list. Adrian Gonzalez, in his 36 games with the Dodgers, he batted .297, 3 home runs, 22 RBIs. I expected a little bit more power of him. Obviously, only 3 home runs is a concern for me. If he's going to try to be an impact player for this Dodgers team, and he needs to hit 30 home runs, he only hit 3 in 145 at-bats. So, obviously, the power was of lack from Adrian Gonzalez's bat. 10 doubles, he only had 43 hits. But obviously he only had 145 at bats, but only 10 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs. That's not good. That's 19 singles, and you'll like to have more extra base hits. I'm talking about Adrian Gonzalez. He needs to be an impact player. And I expect him to be an impact player. And everybody expects him to be an impact player. He's a big contract player. He was big with San Diego. He had 35 home runs a year for San Diego before he got traded to Boston. So I think Dodgers fans expect a lot of him. And I think that analysts, broadcasters like me expect a lot of him also. So I think he needs to have a very quick start to the season, very, very solid look, and then I can see the evaluation and see if if he lives up to the standards that I hold for him this year. Let's talk about Andre Ethier. I talked to him as having to be the leader of the outfield when Kemp was injured. 284 batting average, 20 home runs, 89 RBIs. The former Arizona State Sun Devil, not having his best year, in my opinion. I think that his batting average can be a lot higher. He's a contact hitter. He does strike out a little bit too much. He had 124 strikeouts out of his 556 at-bats. So the strikeouts need to go down and the hits have to go up. So, and also he walks quite a few times. He had 50 walks in the season, but I know other guys that have been walked more, per se. So, obviously, 36 doubles on the year, that's a high number that led the Dodgers team. So he does get the extra base hits in, and that's a good thing. That's how he's another impact performer. There are a lot of impact hitters on this team. And I can go down the list. Hanley Ramirez, 10 home runs, 44 RBIs, but he had 271 batting average. He needs to get that up so he can be more of an impact player and to help the overall infield offensive game. Offense in the infield, excluding Adrian Gonzalez and Hanley Ramirez, is Nick Punto, and third base is Luis Cruz. That's not a good thing if you're the Dodgers. You would like to get. And then second base is Mark Ellis, Nick Punto, Adam Kennedy, those guys. Simple. So obviously they'll expect a lot of the second base and the third base position because there are no stars in that position. Hanley Ramirez and Adrian Gonzalez are the stars of the infield, pretty much. Catchers, A.J. Ellis, 270 batting average, 13 home runs, 52 RBIs. He does strike out. He had 107 strikeouts on the season. That's quite a lot. He only has 20 doubles on 114 at-bats. So he'll have to get the batting average up. The 65 walks, that's pretty good. He takes the pitches a lot. Obviously, a very patient hitter up on the plate. 423 at-bats, you're expecting only 133 games a year from a healthy catcher, and that's what A.J. Ellis gave to the Dodgers. in my opinion, he had a pretty good year. Pretty much a no-name for the first part of the season. Then he really came up to the scene in the middle of the season before the All-Star break. So I think AJ Ellis can be an impact player also, but don't expect him to be an underrated key impact player behind the likes in the shadows of Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and Handler Ramirez. And then also I forgot to bring Shane Victorino up into the mix, another outfielder picked up in the trade deadline from Philadelphia. What I thought about Shane Victorino's effort was that he did not do good at all. That's the unfortunate thing about it, because he only batted .245, only 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. He struck out a lot. He struck out 31 times in 208 at-bats. And then you times that by 2.5, you times that by 2 for the at-bats, and then that's another 30. So you're going to average over 100 strikeouts. So obviously Victorino needs to go to put that one down. It's 31, So he'll obviously need to work on being patient. But Victorino's not on the Dodgers now. He's not. He was a free agent going into the going into the free agent market to the offseason, looking for different teams, obviously concerned, but now he's a Red Sox. And you could say it's a 3-team trade. Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and Boston. Philadelphia gives Shane Victorino. Red Sox give a bunch of people over there to Los Angeles. Los Angeles gives a bunch of people back to Boston. 3-team trade, kind of. Some people, a lot of people, the listeners out there, you might not get it, but I think most of you will get it, what I'm trying to say, or be just totally confused. It's perfectly okay. But, I'm trying to get this through faster. I should get through this, faster. And then another player that I want to bring up is Juan Rivera. 244 batting average, 9 home runs, 47 RBIs. He's the backup outfielder along with Tony Gwynn. They are two pieces of concerns because Kemp and Ethier get injured next year. This is worst case scenario in my opinion. They get injured. Who are your backups? You have Juan Rivera, who is not really a contact hitter, who strikes out a lot, and then you have Tony Gwynn Jr., who's only a contact hitter. And then you're losing 2 power hitters. So pretty much weighing that together, and what you have is a definite difference, a completely different ball club when you have Kemp and Ethier on the field instead of Rivera and Gwynn Jr. So I need to get through this faster. Let's go through the 40-man roster. The pitchers, like I said, Josh Beckett picked up in the trade. And just going through the list of pitcher stats, Clayton Kershaw having a subpar year on the wins-loss end. Only 14 wins, 9 lost games, and 33 games started. He had a very good ERA at 2.53. Obviously, the strikeouts is his main phenomenon stat. 229 strikeouts on the season with a whip of only 1.02. Very phenomenal job. Very low, almost to the point where it's in 0.99 or that type of stuff. He did pitch 227 innings. Those obviously a lot of innings. Dodgers have been pitching him a lot. Maybe you let it low for a little bit. He did have, I think he had a good season. 210 opponents batting average. He gave up 16 home runs, which, in my opinion, is a little bit above the average. So he'll have to bring that one down. So that's maybe the reason why he only had 14 wins. I didn't really cover him a ton, but I covered him to the point where I know what he throws, and that dirty curveball that fools everyone, especially righties, is unbelievable. Other starters on the list, you got Chad Billingsley, who was injured at the end of the season, missed the entire rest of the season due to elbow problems. Aaron Harang had in my opinion, a good year, a bounce back year. 10-10, 3.61 ERA. He needs to get that ERA lower. In 31 games started, he had a 1.4 WHIP. He needs to also get that one down. So I think he was I think he was doing pretty good. A bounce back year, in my opinion. I think that I expect a lot of him this year as one of the starting pitchers in the middle of the rotation. Chris Capuano, remember him as a Milwaukee Brewer, 12-12 record in 33 games started, a 3.72 ERA. Billingsley, Harang, Capuano could be better, and it'll help out if the offense does some work too. But I think the offense is going to be of no concern going to the 2013 season, so no worries for the people down Chavez Ravine. And to look at the 40-man roster, the catchers, A.J. Ellis. Infielders, you have Luis Cruz, you have Mark Ellis, Adrian Gonzalez, D. Gordon, I remember him, speedster, Jerry Harrison, Nick Punto, Hanley Ramirez, and Juan Uribe. The outfielders, you have Carl Crawford, Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and Alex Castellanos. So that is your roster right there. The key players that I'm looking at, the pitchers, Josh Beckett, Chris Capuano, Chad Billingsley, Zach Greinke. I forgot to mention him. We got him in the offseason. Big-time transaction for the Dodgers. Just spending money, just writing checks like it's no tomorrow. Also, you got Ted Lilly. He's not going to be a pitcher. He's not going to be on the Dodgers very long because he's not going to be starting at all. And so let's take a commercial break. When we come back, I'll talk about the schedule and what it means for the Dodgers going to the first 2 months of the regular season of 2013, the prospect watch, and I'll give you my prediction for the 2013 season for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Will they get the wild card? Will they win the division? Or will they not even make the playoffs at all? We'll see when we come back to 30 and 30 for the Los Angeles Dodgers here on Spreaker.com.
On my words on the edge of sombrero, the gringos sing flows, yes, the cockazoid. Kill Agnes with a glance from the pupil of annoyed. A mic stored in underwear drawers of my dresser. Rhymes from True God.
Welcome back to 30 and 30 here for the Los Angeles Dodgers by the hosts of the show. My name is Stephen Hughes, here to commentate and talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 30-minute show. We got 11 minutes to go to talk about the prospects, the schedule, and my prediction. So let's go straight to the schedule. Opening day, the season opener and the home opener, as the Dodgers will be taking on the San Francisco Giants. Bitter rivalry as they'll be taking on the Giants at Chavez Ravine. Then they'll be taking on Pittsburgh. So two great series at home to start the year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then they'll go on the road, take on two NL West teams in the San Diego Padres at Petco and the Diamondbacks of Arizona at Chase Field. They'll take on the Padres again at home. And then a little bit different this year. Like I told you in the past two shows, MLB has expanded the world of interleague play. And when I mean expansion, I mean that you have interleague play in the first month of the year. And when I say first month of the season, the Dodgers take on the Orioles on April 19th. And you'll think that the Dodgers will be playing an American League team in May or June. That's the designated interleague play month. But since Houston is moving to the AL West and now it's now equal, 15 teams in the NL, 15 in the NL, you can expand interleague play, and that's what Major League Baseball has done. And I think they're experimenting and seeing if the fans are more into seeing more teams than just only the National League teams and only the American League teams in this part of May and this part of June. So I think it'll be I think it's a good idea, and hopefully it's successful. So they take on the Orioles, and a part of that East Coast trip, they take on the Mets. And then the end of the month, taking on the Brewers and the Rockies. Now let's take on to the last month we'll take care of, the month of May. This is going to be a pretty big month for the Dodgers. Finish the series with the Rockies. Now they go to AT&T Park, take on the Giants. They play Sunday Night Baseball on May the 5th. Diamondback series. Then they go to the Marlins. Then they take on the National League East champions of 2012, the Nationals. A nice home trip starting from May 6th to May 15th. Then they go on an East Coast road trip in Hawaii. They take on the Braves in Turner Field on the 17th, 18th, and 19th weekend. Then they take on the Brewers. Cardinals, Angels, Rockies to end the month. May is going to be a big month for the Dodgers. They'll have to get through a very hard middle of May, as they'll start with the Nationals at home, then the Braves, Brewers, Cardinals, and then the Angels, a 2-game series at home, and then a 2-game series over at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. So obviously, from the 13th of May to the 30th of May, that's an 18-day period. That's going to be the biggest part of the first half for the Dodgers. If they succeed, they're probably going to be in first place in the National League. If they don't succeed, look them to be second place or third place in the National League West, possibly behind the Giants. Or a surprise team, I could say, is the Arizona Diamondbacks, if all the pieces of the puzzle in Arizona can really fit in. So that's your schedule right there. You guys can also go to MLB.com. Or you go to LosAngelesDodgers.com. You guys can check out the schedule for yourself. Only covered April and May. You guys can check out June, July. The All-Star break is going to be at New York at Citi Field, home of the New York Mets. Then you can check out the entire schedule over on the Dodgers site or on ESPN or on MLB.com. So we got about 7 minutes to go in the show. Let's go straight to the prospects, then my prediction. Number one prospect in the Dodgers farm system right now is Zach Lee. He was expected to come up in 2014. He's a right-handed pitcher. He was drafted in 2010, the first pick for the Dodgers in that year's draft, 28th overall. A football standout who was signed away from quarterbacking at LSU, Lee showed a more advanced feel for pitching than many anticipated during his first season of pro ball. He has a plus fastball that can touch the upper 90s. His curve also shows a glimpse of being a plus pitch, and he's worked on his slider, giving him another outstanding breaking ball. He played at Single A Rancho Cucamonga. I'm pretty sure. I have never been there before. I haven't pronounced it before. So that's high. That's high Single A. That's the California League with teams like San Jose, Stockton, those teams, Modesto, and he was 2-3, 4.55 ERA, 12 games started. Not so good numbers, but he only started 12 games. And then he gets promoted to Double-A Chattanooga on June 25th. And he goes 4-3, 4.25 ERA, and 13 games started. 272 opponent's batting average. That's a concern. So his entire 2012 minors season goes like this. He went 6-6 with a 4.39 ERA and 25 games started. 121 innings pitched. His WHIP was 1.33. A little bit too high. Strikeouts, he gets a lot of strikeouts. He had 103 on the year. That's obviously you should be throwing a lot more strikeouts if you're throwing in the upper 90s and have a great curveball. So expect him to be a little bit better, but with these stats that I just see right here, I don't see him to get promoted this year. And I think the website is right. He'll be coming up in 2014. Yasiel Puig. He was signed on June 28th of 2012. The Cuban defector was signed for a 7-year, $42 million contract in late June, like I said, June 28th. Some people are comparing him to Yoenis Cespedes, the rookie Oakland A's outfielder from last year. He is an outfielder, but he's expected to come out in 2015. At the age of 22, at 6'3", 215 pounds, at the Arizona Fall League, he batted 400. He was 12 of 30 though, so obviously you'll need to see more proof from more games, more at bats. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs in the Arizona League. Then the California League, only in 52 at bats, only 1 home run and 4 RBIs. So I think he'll get more playing time as the season progresses. Possibly you can see a promotion over to Chattanooga during this season, or probably at the beginning of next season. And when I say next season, 2014. So Yasiel Puig, outfielder, And the Dodgers hope he can develop into a Sammy Sosa-like impact player. So a lot of expectations from the Los Angeles Dodgers and the farm system over there. And the last person I'm going to talk to you about, the number 3 ranked prospect in the Dodgers farm system, is Chris Reed, a left-handed pitcher from at the age of 22, and is supposed to be coming up this year at 6'4", 195 pounds. He was a Stanford man. He was a Stanford closer. His fastball started gaining notice when he was at Stanford as a closer. And the Dodgers nabbed him in the middle of the first round. Although he relieved in college, the Dodgers, like many teams, think Reed can start. That's because he has a very good 3-pitch mix that he commands well. He can get his fastball up to 96 out of the bullpen with good arm side run. His power slider gives him enough to excel in relief, but he also has a changeup that could be a future plus pitch as well. With fairly good command, it remains to be seen how he'll do in the starting role. Though the early returns were positive in 2012. So in the California League, 1-4 with Rancho Cucamonga. I said that right, I think. 3.09 ERA in 6 games started in 7 games pitched. 1.11 WHIP. That's pretty good. And opponent's batting average is a 203. But the walks might be a little bit of concern. You got 14. You gave up 14. That's a little bit too much if you're going to be a starter or a closer in any way, shape, or form. And then he gets promoted to Chattanooga, and he bombs it. It's pretty funny. 0-4 with a 4.84 ERA in 11 games started, 20 walks, 1.44 WHIP. So his minor league season in 2012 goes 1-8, 3.97 ERA, 17 games started out of 19 games pitched, 1.28 WHIP. He gives up 34 walks. Don't worry. I see him. Just reading about him sounds like he's going to do pretty good. So also, he was the 16th overall pick, middle of the first round in the 2011 draft. The Dodgers, I think, picked up a big-time player right there. And then my predictions to round out the show, and it'll go like this. I'll put up two scenarios. First scenario, an impact player gets injured. Might be Adrian Gonzalez, Hanley Ramirez, Matt Kemp, whoever. And then the pitching staff does pretty good, but not good enough. Not as better as the Giants. Dodgers, this is the first scenario. Dodgers with injuries and average pitching, second place gets into the wild card game. No problems at the pitching rotation, no problems in the bullpen. This is the second scenario. Hitters are on fire, barely any injuries. Dodgers are a 100-win team, and they'll win the division. Possibly a number 1 seed in the National League playoffs and a contender for the World Series. And those are my predictions, folks, for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Thank you very much for listening to my show. I'll be keeping up with doing these shows. The next show I'm going to do is going to be on Saturday. I'll cover the San Francisco Giants, the bitter rivals of these Los Angeles Dodgers. And like for every show, I will cover the farm system, the 2012 recap, and their schedule, and how they're going to fare as the 2013 season starts in less than 2.5 months. That's unbelievable. 2.5 months, and in 1 month, pitchers and catchers report to spring training. It's unbelievable. Baseball is coming back very soon. Winter is about to end, folks. Thank you very much for listening to 30 and 30. Keep up with the blog here on Spreaker.com. Also, National Sports has a Facebook account and a Twitter account, so you guys can check that out. Next show is on Saturday. I'll cover the Giants. Thank you very much, everybody. Go National Sports, and thank you for listening to 30 and 30. The Dodgers have stepped out of the box.